Good morning. Welcome to IEM webinar talk on post-green revolutions, challenges and opportunities for Malaysian agricultural engineers. I was told by IEM Secretariat, IEM has sent out 100 of webinar link to all the participants. About the presenter, Engineer Ayub Sukra, graduated in agricultural engineering from UK with Bachelor of Science Honours 1972, major in soil and water engineering, and Master Science in farm machine design in 1974. After graduation, he had attended various short courses, seminars, study tours, and conferences related to agricultural engineering, agricultural mechanization, and management. So, Engineer Ayub, the floor is yours. Thanks.
Thank you.
By the way, sorry, Engineer Ayub. For the participant, if you have any question, please type in the chat box, and the speaker will try to answer the questions after his presentation. Thank you. Engineer Ayub, back to you.
Thank you, Chairman. You can hear me, yeah?
Can.
Welcome to the webinar talk on post-green revolution. I'll explain what is post-green revolution and also the opportunities for Malaysian agriculture engineers, yeah? The scope of my talk will be on, I'll give a brief intro and recap on agriculture and role of engineering. And of course, also what is agriculture engineering. And then I'll go straight into the challenges that are facing the agriculture engineering profession at the moment. Okay. The purpose of the talk is to share information so that it can improve our awareness on the realities and issues in the agricultural engineering profession, specifically for members of the engineering fraternity, agriculture engineers, whether they are practicing or non-practicing. I'm not sure that all of them will be there inside. The academia members, as well as the future entrants into the agriculture engineering industry and practice, which is mainly the graduating students, I hope. I want to, because of the range of the participants targeted, it's difficult to present the talk without knowing exactly where the level of understanding is on the issue. So I used as a general benchmark that the participant audience will already know what is engineering, but not much on agriculture engineering practice by itself. As on the background, I can quickly mention that agriculture activities existed since early human history, all time ago, until now. Engineering is very important enabler to agriculture. It makes agriculture is able to perform what they want to do. Many changes occurred and most likely will occur in the future in the agriculture and the related environment. Change is always there, and every change will introduce challenges, and each challenge will produce opportunities. I want to mention here the opportunities. I will not be highlighting the opportunities specifically one by one, but I'll be only opening the window for you to see the opportunities yourself, because opportunities by nature only is visible to those who are seeking. If you don't look for the opportunities, you'll never see it right in front of your nose also. So that will be the approach that I'll be doing as far as opportunities is concerned. And that's why in the title, I put a bracket on the opportunities. It's for you to see if you're looking for it. Maybe you're looking for business, then you must see you will see the opportunities for business. You look for other things, you may be seeing there from there, but it's only the window that I'm presenting you. The talk is that we'll focus on the challenges in the past 2-3 decades. This is a post-green revolution era. Yeah, I'll explain what this is in a minute. This is we know already for sure. Agriculture engineering. Agriculture is important human civilization. It's very important activity of human civilization. From it, we can get our food to sustain life in the family and the community in the country also, and as well as raw material for making products needed by the country and also by the community. This is general knowledge, yeah, on agriculture. The national agricultural development occurs in phases normally. For Malaysia, we can recognize 5 phases. This is the pre-colonial era, before the British came, or before the Dutch came, or Portuguese, whichever comes first. I forgot already. I think Portuguese came first, before the era. And then the colonial time, from the Portuguese, the Dutch, and the British. And then early independence era, which is 1960s. I know we got independence in the 1957, but between 57 and the 60s, so 3 years, is setting up time and things like that. Yeah, so put it together as early independence lah. Green Revolution era, this is in the 70s and until about early 90s. And then the post-Green Revolution, I call it. This is not name, I just my own concoction, I say, but it's generally referred to the 1990s to the present time. This is the focus of our talk today. I explain why. Because each development phase has distinct features, so that, and these features give different challenges and opportunities for engineers per se, right? So the Green Revolution era is known for rapid development of the sector, as well as in rural areas, as well as there is an active program on social engineering. I don't think to elaborate more than that. An adoption of new agricultural technologies that increase yield and production area, volume, sorry, and then increase in production area, agricultural development and rehabilitation programs. This is during this era, yeah. And then the post-era, the post-Green Revolution era, after the mid-90s until now, we have seen the rapid development of non-agricultural sector. Until now, we become already status of new industrialized country. So that is the that's like we are now. There are a lot of non-agricultural industrial sector that has come up in competition with the agriculture sector for land, labor, water, capital, and also the market share. Okay. Then also another feature is the adoption of new and advanced technologies and product development. I think this I'll explain this in the under the appropriate change challenge. Of course, also they have increased the population significantly. That means we need more food and more industrialized for industrial raw material. This is the scenario where, and then of course also we have had, or still having a lot of foreign labor and products and produce, as well as foreign investment, FDI, foreign direct investment. Yeah, so that scenario has changed the agriculture engineering punya scene that we are facing right now. What is the current and future scenario? Agriculture sector will continue to be important, even though earlier on, even though not as major as in before, but in terms of contributor to the national economy, yeah, it will continue to be important one. For example, you can see that the national contribution to GDP, gross domestic product or production, at the moment, in terms of percentage contribution, has been reducing. It's mainly not because of the magnitude is about the same, but because the cake has become bigger, so the percentage has become smaller and smaller. That's because of our country economy has developed more bigger. And then our employment contribution to the employment, national employment punya figure is also as reducing because less and less people are involved in agriculture. Now we go to the agriculture engineering aspect, brief recap. And the old definition is a simple definition, but I think it's misleading. I'll explain why it's misleading. Agriculture engineering is equal to the application of engineering in agriculture to produce human food. The related issues is not just one engineering basic discipline, which means mechanical, civil, electrical, or chemical, and not just one, but all of them integrated into one specialization based on the application industry. The application industry is agriculture industry. Yeah. And agriculture is not just for human food as before, but now it's for all human needs, food and non-food. Yeah, everything. I'll explain this much detail later, more later about this. This is just a brief introduction. The simple definition used by most people who are not in agriculture is misleading. To us, it's misleading because it doesn't give the full scope and the full picture, and created some of the misunderstanding that we have at the moment. And then, who are the players in agriculture engineering practice right now? Okay, in the early history of agriculture engineering, because agriculture has been since the early civilization, and that time also there were engineering, quote unquote engineering, because by definition engineering includes hand tools and animal drawn tools and whatnot, you know, so in terms of definition. So they're called engineering, but they are not involved by, because that time there's no engineering per se. So they're mainly done by rural blacksmiths, carpenters, masons. They work with stone. We have a lot of stone equipment before. And then rural mechanics and inventive farmers. The farmer themselves make these tools and whatnot. They didn't use science and maths because science and maths were never invented at that time, or never promoted at that time yet. But they use a diligent trial and error that work, or in other words, experience. So that's what happened in the past. The modern times as we can recall it, we are now having university graduates in agriculture engineering, and supported by agriculture engineering technologies and agriculture engineering technicians and workers, and skilled workers. I introduced these three top category of people because I'll explain later, because modern days, not right now, sorry, right now, they have come into our picture as participants, as players in the industry of agriculture engineering. But just a reminder, even though I mentioned graduates from the beginning, to practice, graduates need to have specific practical training and pass professional exams. I'll explain all this later. The history of modern agriculture, when it all started in US actually, about 120 years ago, which is after US become independent also. The US is about 300 years plus. Now halfway through, they have come up with this, started the agriculture engineering profession, which means they are degree-based, with establishment of agricultural engineering degree programs at the mainly agricultural states. Some states in US are agricultural-based economically, and some are not so. Like the East Coast are mainly not agricultural, whereas the Midwest, the Middle and West are more agricultural in nature. In Europe, it started about 40 years later. And in Malaysia, it started about 60 years ago, with foreign trained Malaysian graduates who later joined about 1975 by graduates from the local university. What has agriculture engineering contributed to the agriculture, food, and the environment sectors? This is the scope of agriculture engineering. We have, I think most of you probably know already, but they just list it out quickly. Machinery and devices, field infrastructure. Most people don't think about, especially not agriculture engineers, don't think that this is engineering, agriculture engineering. Field infrastructure, from road, rain, irrigation, field layout and drink, all that. Dams, ponds, water resources, farm buildings, agriculture development, all physical aspect, contribution, product utilization and processing and handling facilities and processes, engineering, protection technologies, environmental protection technologies. The new thing right now, so bio and natural energy generation utilization, and of course integrated mechanized production system. What problems does agriculture engineering solve in the industry? Mainly pertains to labor shortage. I'll explain the labor shortage component later. Resource shortage, land, water, capital, and energy is becoming scarce and scarce. Availability to agriculture, environmental and resource degradation, pollution, soil erosion, slopes, sliding down, agriculture cooperation, and also just know about siltation of the rivers and whatnot. Agriculture operation system, from everything from land development to infrastructure. These are all some of the problems that we can contribute or have contributed. And of course, overall, it's about profitability, viability, and sustainability. The new buzzword right now is sustainability. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the first challenge, which is most important challenge from certain angle. That is the issue of professional identity. What the main issue is, for example, as often quoted, and I often face these issues in the past, even though it's still existing even now. Is agriculture engineering a branch of engineering or agriculture? Even after, just now say 60 years, we still have the same question. Yeah. I got the first question when I started work. Now we're still having now. The younger generation is still having this issue right now. Definition of what is agriculture engineering? Even now people are confused still. So, and then why agriculture engineering now known by many names? I elaborate this very peculiar situation for us because we have a lot of alliances, AKA in America, call it, also known as. I'll elaborate this problem later on. And then also the other issue is who can call himself agriculture engineer? Another issue we come out, and then who cannot call himself agriculture engineer? So this confusion within this issue of identity. Yeah. Same topic as the first issue, which is agriculture engineering or agriculture? Yeah. So for that we have to define what is engineering lah. Then only you can say whether it is engineering or not. By definition, this is a definition that is common. You can find anywhere in dictionary as well as in the website of the major universities and whatnot, or the local authorities on regulators of engineering bodies. Engineering is a creative application of science and principle and mathematics. These are two important criteria. Science and mathematics. Another important criteria is to design, develop, and create, forecast the behavior of structures, machine, devices, or manufacturing processes, or works. The three main criteria for engineering. In all aspects, intended function, what is it going to be used for, economics of operation and safety and to life and property. This is the this particular thing. I started from US engineering professional development, CR, of course, what the C stands for. Same thing here. This is generally, you can say that the engineering has four main branches: civil, mechanical, chemical, and electrical. Besides, I call them classical four. Okay, and then, but in addition to this, over time, we have developed 36 plus because new one are coming still in the future. We don't know. Interdisciplinary branches of engineering. These interdisciplinary branches combine any one of these four with some application, any one or two or three, and with application areas. This is a UK engineering council literature about this right up, and this include agriculture engineering and biosystem engineering. So by this definition, by this consideration, agriculture engineering is engineering. Yeah. So engineering is not just one sub branch of any of the four main branches. It combines all of them into one. This is a very important point that needs to be put across to most people who doesn't understand what agriculture engineering is all about. Even lately, as last year, I was asked to give opinion on is agriculture engineering part of mechanical engineering? I give the answer as on the slide lah. Yeah, it is not a part of any. It's not a sub branch of any of the four, because we have all the four inside it. We can say that the four now component. There are components from each of the four within agriculture engineering. Yeah, this is very important point which you need to which we need to recognize, especially for those who doesn't quite familiar with our profession. And right now, the status is that agriculture engineering is globally recognized as a branch of engineering discipline. That's not an issue anymore, actually, really. But still, there are doubters, and they need convincing very laboriously. In UK, for example, and US, in Philippines, they have national registration and regulation for agriculture engineering practice. They have their own board. In UK, it's farmed out to institutions. Philippines, they have their own board or committee. They have special, nothing like our BM, but especially for agriculture engineering. Yeah, in Malaysia, it's different slightly. BM recognized agriculture engineering as one of the branches for engineers that can be registered under REA. We have the Act, the Engineer Registration Act 138, with amendment in 2015. So Malaysia recognizes engineering as engineering. And one of them. Only thing, there's some limitation on that recognition, because I'll elaborate later on the issue of what is the competency areas and things like that. Agriculture, on the other hand, we talk about agriculture engineering, so we define engineering. Now we have to find what is agriculture. Agriculture, simply say, is science. Science is science, not anything else. Science of growing crops and raising animals to meet the needs of human. This is traditional, conventional definition of agriculture. The new definition I'll give later, slightly different than that, and that's one causes one of our challenges. Agriculturists, that is people who were trained in agriculture, applies agriculture science for agricultural activities. The agricultural activities undertaken all are under the industry of agricultural industry that define the opposite way. So agriculture engineering cannot be part of agriculture, but agriculture engineering is one of the enablers for agricultural activities in engineering. Enabler means make it possible for agricultural activities to undertake, or to be performed, right? So agriculturists study agriculture engineering technology as part of their BS agriculture, and also, but they cannot enter agriculture engineering profession. Yeah, they cannot, because they're not engineering. It's not recognized by under the REA. While talking about names, I want to make a comment here. Between when we are dealing with a translation from Malay to English. Yeah? In English, we always say kejuruteraan pertanian. Yeah, the word pertanian there actually is kata sifat, not kata nama. So kata nama will be the object of our talk, which means object of the phrase kejuruteraan pertanian. The kata nama there is kejuruteraan, not the pertanian. Pertanian there is describe kejuruteraan. Yeah. So pertanian in this case actually is kata sifat dia is agricultural. Ada ujung ni ada AL, agricultural. That is adjective in English, and in nounnya is agriculture lah, biasa ya. Noun, agriculture is a noun, kata nama, ini kata sifat ya. The problem with translation is that in English we always say, in Malay we always say orang besar, the object, the noun first, then besar the adjective kemudian orang besar. But in English we say big man, adjective first, big man. Yeah, not man big, still big man. So we come here, when it comes to agriculture engineering, the translation is agricultural engineering in English. But I've seen this misconception, misunderstanding in publications by engineering fraternity and also that. So if we find this, come across on this one, please make the edit, or if you are the editor, please make the correction and reminder to all these people who publish this thing like that. Very lately, you can still find them in publications. It's kejuruteraan pertanian, translated as agriculture engineering. Yeah, or agriculture technology. In English, is agricultural, whatever it is, because adjective first, big man. Yeah, this is I'd like to share with you my observation lah. Maybe you can help some days, I don't know. The other thing is biosystem. Biosystem come into the picture when the name, there are so many, and just now about the AKS, or the alliances for agriculture engineering. One of them is on biosystem. Biosystem by definition is a living organism or any complete system of living things that can directly or indirectly interact with each other. This is normal scientific definitions. What is biosystem? In our case, it is used as an extension of the scope of agriculture activity. This is, I'll let to explain what it is about. Okay, definition of agriculture engineering that come to it. What is really the more accurate definition, not the one I've mentioned earlier about engineering agriculture in plant animals, it's like that, but it's more than that. It's a specialized branch. It's a branch of specialization field in engineering that combines the discipline of mechanical, civil, electrical, chemical, the classical four, with knowledge of agricultural principles and practices to solve problems in agricultural activities that produce related material and products for human needs, food, non-food, and industrial need activities. Just re-emphasize upon just now, the AE is not component of mechanical, civil, electrical, or chemical. It's not a part component of that, but it's the other way around. Mechanical, civil, and electrical components exist in agriculture engineering. Yeah, this is the definition that that need to be promoted to people who don't understand what is agriculture engineering all about. Now, biosystem engineering comes the same thing. It's the field of engineering also that combines engineering, science, also engineering practice with and design, science and design, the practical aspect, with biological, environmental, and agricultural science to apply for the engineering biosystem punya market industry. It represents an evolution of agriculture engineering discipline applied to all living organisms. Just now, if you remember, I say about plant and animals, very clear, plant and animals. Now we say that all living organisms, which is a lot compressed. I'll show you what the definition of living in a minute. And then we also come into new I call it maybe a new brand of people that specialist professional they call engineering technologists, also registered by BEM after following the zone areas of the MBOT. But the engineering technologists or technologists per se is a professional who physically build what the engineer designed. There's a difference between technologists and engineer. Engineer designs, develop, technologists build. But engineer also can undertake the parts that technology do. For example, the use construction, maintaining, repairing, equipment engineer develop. Some technologies also help in the solving a problem. This is from definition from MBOT. So agriculture engineering graduates can be a technologist if you want, but your scope of work will be limited to only operational things, not in design or developing new technology, new devices. There's a difference in the two. So I myself was confused earlier on until I look, and then I know, okay, this is the clear definition. And the only source that we can rely on as authoritative is MBOT. This is the definition from them. The new one they always come up is what is the science, the difference between science, engineering, and technology? SET. We always, many years ago, we always say SET, science, engineering, and technology. But what's the difference between engineering, science, and also science, engineering, and technology? So one reference I got, which is very simple and explains very well, is that Science is the study of natural world as it is. You study world, this science. Engineering create new tools, devices, and processes based on scientific knowledge. Technology is the sum total of all engineered tools, devices, and processes available. I hope you can see the difference here. This is the most simple projection putting out the difference on the SET, the thing that I have found so far. Maybe in the future there's some more, but they catch the basic of what is science, what is engineering, and what is technology. Now, we go to the next stage of our problem in personal and not personal, professional identity. Yeah, what is that? Name. Why many name changes? I show you what the names are in a minute. The reason is that agricultural practice has broadened its scope. It has broadened its scope from the old one, which used the science of growing crops and animals for human needs, summer. But now, agriculture, maybe this happened during the period that I'll be talking about. Agriculture is a science of using and producing all types, not just animal specific crop and animal for food, but all types of plants, animal, fungi, and other life forms. Any life form, as long as a living thing, not dead things, but maybe the thing is alive first, and then when dead is another matter. But it's living things. Yeah, for food, for uses for food, fiber, or other products that needed to meet the needs of humans. Everything, for all products, for food, for non-food, for fiber, for medicine, for pharmaceutical thing, for drugs, and things like that, or even for military use. Yeah, we talk about protection garment and things like that, and even for the other things. So it's the science of that, using that. So we have changed from the scope from just a few. Normally crops refer to food crops, and also raising animals refer to food animals. But now beyond that, go beyond far in that. That's what happened. And following that, the changes in the scope of agricultural practice induces changes in name of agriculture engineering. The rationale is that agriculture engineering is important enabler. So if we don't they change. So if we don't change, then we will not enjoy the continued acceptance by the change industry. We're quite afraid to do that. What might happen? The engineering skill remain the same. The engineering skill set remain the same. Only in terms of target area that industry that we talk about has changed a little bit. They are just aliases, names like Ahmad alias Abu, or Ramasamy alias Murugesan, whatever it is lah. That type of alias, AKA. And Americans say also known as, AKA. Kita panggil alias macam ni, British style. What it is. So you don't have to worry so much about that. Only must understand it and tell people that what we are lah, engineering, agriculture engineers. But then this name change affect serious things to the practitioner. For example, initially it was confusing because so many name changes occur in a very short time period. In terms of industrial or professional practice, is very short. But in terms of years, maybe 5 years, 10 years. Yeah. With time, it will settle to one or a few names, depending on the country. Yeah. For example, this is what generally all the aliases that I come across, or we have come across since the beginning until the end of this name change scenario. We have agriculture engineering from the beginning. It's like that, agriculture engineering for a long time. Then we have biological engineering. Because of the change in scope of the agriculture, they put biological engineering. Biological engineering cover agriculture engineering. In a sense, they say like that. But then the market doesn't understand that. They may think, oh, this is a different kind of animal that you're talking about. And biological and agricultural engineering. Oh, after realizing that, they put it, okay, biological and agricultural engineering. Yeah, like that. But then biological engineering also can confuse because they are also biological people, scientists who do engineering work. I'll explain later. Engineering in the context of engineering is another English word for manipulation. Manipulation means you change things around. Yeah, you ubah from A to become B or C, but it's still the same thing. Now that is the another word for engineering, not in English. So we don't want to be confused with the DNA people who manipulate DNAs and molecular people who change the features of plants and animals to become something else, that understand biological engineering, so to say lah. But actually it's non-engineering by our definition. So to overcome that problem, they come up with the biosystem engineering. But then say we forgot about agriculture. So we come back to the same thing, agriculture and biosystem engineering, short name ABE. And then in another, these three are mainly in US. And then in Europe, they also talk about land-based engineering, because all of the activities of the agriculture and biosystem are on land. Land meaning not soil, land, like say, including the whole island or the whole peninsula or the whole continent lah. Whatever's in that thing, it's land-based, not soil-based, but land-based. And then rural engineering is also because they feel that engineering in the rural area, because agriculture is mainly in the rural area, not in the urban area. But now things has changed. Agriculture is moving to the urban area because of shortage of land. And transportation problem and things like that. We are now growing crops in the urban areas. I'll explain later in a minute. I'll list it out. What are the preferred names according to the country? That's not saying according to the country. In US, at the moment, from what my research has indicated, is that people are still using agricultural engineering as a professional name. Also, there is biological agricultural engineering as the professional name. Agricultural and biosystem engineering at the moment is dominant. The society, American ASAE, like, ASAE, American Society of Agricultural Engineers, now become ASBE or something like that, BAE or ABE. I forgot the name. So it's including agriculture system. This is appear to be dominant, but they still have programs with these titles. In Europe, after a lot of debate and things like that, they settle on still UK and Europe on agriculture engineering. They want to change that because, a car is a car. You change the model, you change the content, but it's still a car. Why you want to change that? As long as the industry knows that it's a car with different features. Last time used to be a hybrid, conventional, everything has to be nothing. Then get some electrical part, and then now can hybrid, electrical, now coming up with autonomous cars, but still a car. That's sort of the argument that they use. So they stick with agriculture engineering, but they expand the word agricultural to mean a lot of things. That's what happened in the past, in this case of agriculture and biosystem engineering. In Malaysia, let's be realistic. We go back to Malaysia. I put down here what has been adopted sequentially over time during the period is that they were still an agriculture engineering, which from the past, about 60 years ago, until now, still being used. Biological and agricultural engineering. Then the other one is agricultural and biosystem engineering. These are the three things that are being used. But I think it's going to settle onto these two only, which is agriculture engineering, agricultural and biosystem engineering. I observe this. I made this observation as a forecast lah. No, the thing definite. It's personal opinion on this. Because I see that they're still competing, and there's nothing wrong with these two. Only thing, we have to make the difference in the sense that we tell the people that these two actually just aliases. Not nothing, but the brand become issue of BM punya recognition. Are they recognized as one or as two separate engineering branches? Very interesting. Time yet to finalize this. We do not know because I'll explain later. BM uses your degree name program to be the branch. Okay, now direct to the conflict of understanding is between agriculture engineering and biosystem engineering. I just use another name is to explain petroleum engineering. Petroleum engineering is actually the application industry in the petroleum industry, like agriculture. Agricultural engineering actually is engineering applied in the agriculture system. Similarly, agriculture and biosystem, we retain the agriculture and system actually same, but they have expanded different name, so that people don't get confused, but actually confusing, I don't know. engineering ABE. Yeah? These are all the brackets are the application industry, engineering in that industry or for that industry. Yeah, it's a specialization. It's not any engineering. It's all engineering. Yeah, ABE practically the same. Hello. Okay. Now just to recap what I said earlier. Okay, branch of special field engineering. All that combine everything is agricultural activities for food. And biosystem engineering also combine the thing. That's why I say it's the same all living things now. So that's why it's the same. Because this one is also all agriculture, all living things. Sorry, yeah. All products, all produced. Biosystem engineering, okay. And now, this is a recap again. Why? Because agriculture has changed names from that to all this. Yeah. So that's why it changed. Why it's the same thing. Okay. Now, the controversial issue is who are the agriculture engineers? Yeah. This is an issue in the industry which existed, I would say, still about 50 years ago and until still existing now. But the answer is very different. Depends on your perspective. But then the understanding and the acceptance is something else. So REA, Engineer Registration Act, the one I mentioned now, is that created BM and also all the what is supposed to function, all that. REA recognized 4 categories of engineering registrants for agriculture engineering branch. One as PEPC, professional engineer with practicing certificate, professional PE, professional engineers, all in the branch of agriculture engineering. And of course, we have graduate engineers, also in agriculture engineering. You can register for all these 3, provided you meet the syarat-syarat lah. And these 3 constitute the agriculture engineer definition. Yeah, by definition of the profession. Of course, another registration area, registered category is the agricultural technologists, agriculture engineering technologists in engineering. Right? They also register the people. So they are agriculture engineers. So answer the question lah. Requirement for BE, just is talking about it. Talking about how to become an agriculture engineer. You must, of course, first thing, you must have a degree in agriculture engineering or agriculture biosystem engineering, registered with BM as graduate engineer in this line, in these branches, and then in this branch, and then we have completed practical training for 3 years in AE. Important here is in AE or ABE practice, yeah. Minimum of 3 years practical training and experience. But of this, 1 year must be under PE of the same discipline, which is AE and BE, right? Right. This is important. I reached that be important because later in one more slide later I show why the significance of that. Then submit report on AE and ABE, this training and experience and project report, and pass the PAE lah after the interview and essay writing and so on. Right. So the format of the exam changed slightly now, but still the same thing. Content-wise about the same. Yeah, about the same. That's slightly different. Who the agriculture engineers? Again, common issue is what happened if a graduate in agriculture engineering, but it doesn't have the 3. Now, he didn't register with BM. He didn't have no practical experience or training in AE or ABE. He has no practical training that is under a PE or the same discipline. Can he still become agriculture engineer? My answer to that one, again, my opinion, I don't have the authority on this, but you can say he can or cannot be an agriculture engineer depending on his remedial action. In other words, he doesn't have these 3, so all you do is you do these 3 lah. Then you can register as an engineer, no problem, right? Otherwise, likelihood is that he cannot practice as an engineer. What can you do then? To practice in what? To do what? What occupation? I'll handle that later. Another one's challenge that we can talk about it. Yeah. Who are not agriculture engineer. This is another one that I want to share information on, because I always come across this whenever I interact with people who are not agriculture engineers. My answer to that one is that if you do not comply with the REA requirement, like just now in the previous slide, then you cannot be an agriculture engineer. But then if you are registered already as PE, PEPC, or graduate engineer, but from other branches other than agriculture engineering, my personal opinion is they cannot be agriculture engineer. They cannot call themselves agriculture engineer because BM strictly defined under Act and the regulation, strictly defined that you cannot practice in branches beside what you are registered on. See, if you are petroleum industry, petroleum engineer, you cannot be practicing in agriculture engineer, as in engineering field, as in agriculture engineering. That's what it means in terms of the definition of what the Act and the regulation of the Engineering Registration Act. Number three, these are also not a non-engineering degree or diploma holder. The common one is the agriculture science. People who graduate agriculture science, because they do a few modules on agriculture engineering technology, yeah, they feel that they are agriculture engineer already. By definition and by REA punya stipulation, they are not. Yeah? They are not. But they like to say it. I come across people who say, "Oh, I'm a agriculture engineer." No? But then, BSc genetics. Yeah, genetics. So I just explained just now. Genetic engineering is not engineering, but it's genetic manipulation. So they cannot consult as a agriculture engineer. Yeah. The other one is biology, scientist in biology. Because the word biological engineering, so they manipulate biological things, breeding, for example, not genetic, but breeding, two different things. Also, breeding also in genetic, but the manipulation or agronomic practice, you manipulate the agronomic practice, well, that's engineering. No, it's not. Yeah, now, these are the people who are not engineers at all, or and then of course there are engineering diploma holder. I come across people who say, "I'm an engineer." What do you do? Where do you get? What do you do? What degree? What course you undertake? I did diploma in such and such place. But he is a good talker, or he was a good talker, so he can convince even the highest official that he is an agriculture engineer, right? But they are not really an agriculture engineer. They cannot practice or call himself as agriculture engineer. This is the limitation. Practice means cannot advise people about it. You cannot talk to people about it. You can not submit plan and all those things. All those are what the Engineering Registration Act stipulates. Yeah. Okay, I handled that already. Now we go to the second issue, which is the very important issue, is that of engineering challenge on the agricultural engineering competencies. What can agriculture engineer do and what can he not do? Yeah. The issues are, one is that there is no, at the moment, standard list officially of agriculture engineers' competency areas. What can he do? What cannot do? There's no list. It's a weakness in our profession. I must say that. What can we do about it is something else. I'm not discussing in this forum. Then the other one is the curriculum of BE, AE, and OBE, the two courses at the moment programs, not known to all stakeholders. To all stakeholders. They may be known to some, but not to all, and not to the general public, definitely. Then agriculture engineering fraternity not aware of our competency areas. It's another issue lah. How to make them aware. Okay. So the issue status right now, as far as the list of competency areas, is not in public domain. Yeah, at the moment the issue is not in public domain. Not people know it generally. I've heard that in US and the Philippines, they have such a list and being enforced. In UK and Europe, the list may exist. I'm not sure, definitely for sure. There's as unwritten convention. These people are very traditionalists, you know, UK, European, very traditionalists. So they have issue of ethics and morals are very strong. They adhere to, you know, they're more gentlemen than gentlemen are. Things like that. So they're unwritten. See, in England, UK, for that matter, they don't have written constitution, but they survive until now. Yeah, so they have, because of their adherence to other things, to the politics and moral, to the ethics and morals and things like that. And what is traditional convention? Yeah, they may be held as convention among professional engineering institutions. They are the one that enforces, that regulate. In UK, that is. Europe too, I think, about that. Yeah, engineering institutions. Like in our agriculture profession, is the Institution of Agriculture Engineers, AAGRE, right? You can Google on this, what they do and what not. It's available in the website. But in Malaysia, they perceive we only have perceived list of competency lists, but they're held mainly by some individual. It's not common known to everybody, it's not accepted everybody. It's differences and different lists exist in different people. Adhered to by different people. This is a Malaysian situation right now, and this situation has caused silent dissatisfaction. I omitted the word silent written in written form, but there is a silent dissatisfaction between competing professionals, especially in job opportunity aspect. Yeah. So say, oh, you cannot do this. Oh, I cannot do that. You know, things like, oh, I can do this. I cannot do that. This sort of thing, because this competency level is not standardly promoted and officiated. Okay, this is the list that I like to put forward for your thinking, for your reflection, or what could be the list for the standard list for agriculture engineering professions. Yeah, one is the agriculture engineering service list. Yeah, what is it? It's personal list. It's not official, nothing. It can be wrong, it can be right. I don't know. This is a personal list. But then you can reflect on it, whether you agree or not, whatever it is, and act on whatever immediately upon it later lah. Now, generally, this is what in the REA, right? I only just added agriculture AE here. The scope of engineering services in the REA is that you can provide a professional engineer, registered professional engineer, can give engineering service and advice in connection with any feasibility study, planning, survey, design, construction, commissioning, operation, maintenance, and management of works and projects. Now, I added in only the word AE on top here, or agriculture engineering, and the word here in agriculture engineering, covering specific areas listed. I present you the list in the following slides. This is what the REA or REA has provided us, define us for what is the engineering service, professional service. Yeah. Now, the specific list for agriculture engineering suggested that they should cover this lah. Machinery, equipment, agriculture structures, power unit in agriculture machinery and facilities, mechanized agriculture production system, agriculture resource management is used. I mean, all those activities just now for each of these one or and all, depending. Resource development management, land use and whatnot, water, environment, water management, conservation, storage, everything, surveying, agriculture. These are the things that we agriculture engineers can do from their degree curriculum. Yeah, should be able to, depending on the personal capacities. Agricultural climatology and atmospheric. This is a very important issue in agriculture and agriculture engineering. When it rains, your machine cannot go into the soil. But when it rains, how often does it rain? How often does it know? There's another issue, right? So the issue is important area for you to note. Because I cannot go when it rains, Tractor cannot go to the soil because the soil wet. Then you have a lot of problem with the soil. You know, machines to get bogged down, things like that. This was one example. And we don't know when it rain or when it will rain. The climate people always say it may happen on this date. And then the worst part that is accepted that is what? Hujan di sana sini. Don't know where. Okay. The soil management, conservation, erosion flood control, operation in the production system, everything for all living things. Waste is another issue. Management of agricultural waste is new engineering component for that. Handling, processing, and utilization of agricultural product and produce. This also has engineering component which is agricultural. There's a dispute here between that and chemical engineering. Where does chemical engineering come in? Where agricultural engineering for me? But the REA and regulation say that you don't go beyond your competency area. I mean, you know, you are able to do this, you have the knowledge and experience and the thing, then you go to that level. If not, you go to the other level. You can go beyond that if you cannot go beyond your own competency or ability. Non-fossil fuel generation and operation in agriculture. In the area of competency level. Properties of material, this is standard lah. Agriculture component of impact assessment, EIA. EIA for agriculture by agriculture engineers as a team member, I think it's quite new and not quite sought for at the moment. And also environmental mitigation for agricultural project, especially I'm referring to. Then of course the traditional one like R&D, technology transfer and management of in agriculture engineering, manufacturing also, marketing and management of agriculture engineering products. What are the product? Machinery, equipment, devices, things like that, and also as works in terms of you know, barns, building, whatever that is listed earlier on. Same. Machine design for bioresource, mainly when you do microbes, when you do fermentation, when you do apa nama lagi, that I can think of right now is that lah, fermentation microbes, and also use of the microbe in special things for agricultural purposes, right? In land clearing, for example, if we can use microbes for that will destroy all the trees without having to burn, for example, lah. Things like that. So that also is using the machinery and devices for that. And bioenergy, engineering, biodiversity conservation and management. Now also come into the picture in engineering for landscape, amenities. Amenities means like town and city amenities like parks and playground and things like that. And recreation area, football field, golf field and things like that. We have engineering, agriculture engineering component there and expertise for irrigation, for machinery, for the maintenance of the grass and things like that. Curriculum detail, the second issue. Yeah, is on the curriculum not easily post accessible to public. This may not be so depending on the university. That's the thing. Why it should be in public access? One is curriculum support competency areas to show that you are competent in the particular area is because you study these things, the background subjects. So you must tell people, okay, I studied these subjects and I'm competent to do it. That's why you must put it accessible to the public. When we share the information, you facilitate awareness and acceptance by stakeholders. Stakeholders meaning people who are concerned with our profession or being affected by a profession or using our professional punya services. Okay, again, this is a personal projection ataupun not promotion suggestion that I have adapted from UPM DBAE as well as Iowa State as well as Texas A&M. Only these three so far that I can manage to do. It's relevant. We have the supportive about the fundamental what call it, engineering subjects and the general subject on this side. Biasalah ni, but I want to focus on this one at the moment because of the engineering dispute or whether you are engineering enough subject. Engineering mathematics, biasa everybody does it. Computer aided design drawing, will do it. Computer programming, engineering statistics, workshop practice, engineering economics, very important nowadays. And so project management, very important so nowadays. So we have to do all this as a background or supportive to the subject. So the other core subject for engineering per se, all engineering per se. Some of these are listed as conditional for as a condition to be met to get the EAC punya accreditation. Some of these, I'm not sure. I have no time to compare what EAC standards are on this list. Yeah, but about the same lah. And these are for all engineering discipline in Malaysia. EAC and BM, they're part together, and covers the subject like this lah. Thermodynamics, heat transfer, machine design, electrical thing, fluid mechanics, control and automation, hydraulics, structural design, as well as bachelor project and industrial training. The design projects, the bachelor project, which is more than, I think, was 1 semester or something like that. And then industrial training. Of course, this is also important. Okay, agriculture engineering core subjects. It's not engineering, but these are not all engineering discipline will handle this, but some of that might do. Like soil aspect of soil engineering, biosystem equipment, irrigation drainage. I don't know. Irrigation drainage will be covered only in agriculture engineering, unless it's covered also in specialization of civil engineering. Hydrology and water resource, again, similar condition. Agricultural properties of material, this one is only mainly agricultural aspect, engineering. Then waste, agricultural waste, yes, all this biasalah. And of course, the other one is agricultural process engineering. The word process there need to be defined further so that you know what is processing. The primary, secondary processing, and so on. For the other one is utilization, which is another aspect. Field machinery, yeah, another area which is considered as these are agricultural field machinery, engineering core. Then we have electives according to different sectors of the engineering profession. Yeah, post harvest, soil and water. And then we have this the new areas of IT and smart farming and all those sort of thing, precision farming. Then we have the automation, mechanization aspect. Okay, overall, the program duration generally is stipulated at the EAC as 4 years, 4 academic year. But some university also in overseas lah, I think, because their university policy, you can have study leave and things like that. Maximum 6 years, right? This is not, I don't know whether Malaysia also have that possibility. And must be 4 years, and then you're comprising of 8 semesters lah, or 4 times 3 terms. 4 times 3, because the British term will use 3 terms a year. Total academic load will be about 135 to 138 credit hours for the whole program. This is whole thing lah, about the same in most of those those things. So this challenge 3 and 4, change in agricultural engineering, in agricultural industry and technology. This is another challenge lah. But I want to combine the two under the issue of same, because they are similar issues, which refer to individually or for the group user. The only I want to say that is the common quotation. The only thing permanent is change. Change is forever, exists forever. So we cannot be afraid of it. So do not be stressed by change. But manage change. Manage change. You must manage change. As an engineer, you are a good manager. As an engineer, you're a good manager. You're a good creator, a creative person. So you have to manage change creatively, because it will happen. It will always happen, and it will always continue to happen. Yeah. So, but then the change itself, may affect professional practice. Definitely will affect professional practice. What you can do before cannot do now, or what you can do before can be done better now because of the change. Things like that. And then we need to take time and effort to monitor. Most important is monitor. Monitor your boundary. We have the monitoring activity and analyze using SWOT maybe if you like, or something else, other things similar. And then identify opportunities that you can take use of, but you must look for what opportunity type you are looking for. Then only can identify the opportunities and strategize and activate responses. This is what one need to do to face or to face the challenge. What common is to stress and also fearful and things like that. And in fact, one time I was told to don't be negative. When I was just proposing, I was mentioning these are change happening and the reaction should be different. Somebody say, oh, you are being negative, you are discouraging people from entering the profession. That I think is not right attitude. But the change, whether you like it, is reality. It's the reality on the ground. It's a fact of life. It's going to happen. It's happening. How we manage it, how we react to it is what we can do. Yeah. So that's general thing. Now specific to agricultural industry changes. Just a background. Maybe you have heard of the S or B curves in product development or industrial development. You have the S, the B. This is the B like orang bunting. Emerging phase, growth phase, mature phase, and decline phase. The other is a S curve. It's a B. The S curve is a similar event. Only thing the decline phase is not there. Only recognized but not in fact activated. Yeah. So that is one thing. But it doesn't have to be so. People say agriculture now is already declining. But most other people who are in agriculture say it's wrong. They're not declining. We are in a mature phase and continue like that. Yeah. So actually it's an S curve, not a B curve for agriculture. And how to handle it? Handle it by innovation, by changes that will increase. In other words, a new S curve can be formed at the time when we are reaching almost end of maturity period. We can start the new technology, a new approach, a new whatever it is, new products, new thing like that, and raise the industry performance even higher relative to at that stage. Yeah. And this happen if you do manufacturing, you can know that the product innovation, you put one product habis to end, because no more demand, you can replace with the new one. A product come in, and so on. Very similar to for the industry, and this is what happened. There was a fear that agriculture was declining, so we make changes in our agriculture industry. So an approach and thing like that, and come up with a new one. For example, the typical case that we can collect is, we know the end of rubber. Demand is declining, is coming. So our old generation planners, economic planners, say start on something else. Instead of rubber, we go on oil and fat industry, palm oil palm. So that will happen. So yeah. Similarly for food, if at all. Okay, now another thing is the change in scope of agriculture industry has changed from just, when I mentioned this earlier, from animal to plant or to all living things, and including forestry. Forestry is a part of agriculture now in terms of concept. Maybe not administratively, it's another matter. In terms of profession concept, agriculture engineering. Or you got mono and mixed culture issue. Living things. Last time we only handled animal on plants, and even then within a small portion of it. Now the whole portion of it include everything. Yeah, animal include the smallest. We're talking about the most. Sea animal also is a animal. So you can include that sharks, fish, yeah, ocean fish, something like that. Even cereal, but then not agriculture. Maybe last time we handled only with freshwater fish, not ocean fish. But now fishery is under agricultural concept. So we can still farm seawater fish and as part of agricultural activity or brackish water. We produce shrimp or whatever it is in brackish water. It's possible. Yeah. Plants also the same. Last time we go up to the smallest part. Yeah. See, there are to the single cellular plants, algae. Now people talking about algae. Talking about in animals, we are talking about insects for things, right? For animal feed and all of that. They all be happening. In fungi, mushrooms, right? Things like that. And this one, the protozoa, and then the other one is me. So it means a whole lot of things that we can be involved. Agriculture engineering now is agriculture involved, and definitely agriculture engineering will be involved. Birds, sorry, animal includes birds. Last time, small birds are not included. Burung walit, the swallow, was never in the picture about 15 years ago, even though it's being used as a product, specialist product traditionally, but not as a farming process, farming activity, right? Things like that. So it's changed. We know this change. So engineers must also recognize these changes and think about how can they make their production better. How can they save labor? How can the income can be better? Reduce things like that, productivity, if it's more efficient, things like that. These are what the work of engineers can do. And change of agriculture industry. Last time the purpose is only food. For purpose, food, but not so food and non-food, including all this what I mentioned earlier, including biodiversity. By the way, want to preserve things in the hutan. We need engineering also. Location. Last time used to be only on open ground. Now we're talking about water-based urban buildings, control environment, multi-level vertical farming, something like that. Lowland, highland, and including marginal land. Marginal land are not really good land for agriculture, but then no other land, so we go to that sort of situation. In terms of activities, people used to say, "Oh, your agriculture engineering only stopped in harvesting, handling and processing is not. It's not quite valid because the whole value chain affect the product. If you don't systemize whole value chain, you cannot get a good product in the end. So it's the whole thing. This activity agriculture, not comprised agriculture. Last time processing is only not part of the processing industry, not agriculture industry. But now agriculture industry include that. The scale from the small to the biggest, micro, mini, homestead. We are about homestead ni home. No, we're advocating home farming. Yeah, kitchen farming. Talking about balcony farming. Yeah, we talk about other things, right? Even the bigger thing like estate, schemes, and zone. These are all in the past, but then also involving scale. Agricultural land, resource, no competition of agriculture, changing the agriculture resource ability, land, labor. These are the two things. These are what is describing what happened lah. I'm trying to make it faster because the time is running fast. But I'll pick up on a few. This is obvious. We cannot say too much, but competition for other industries. Also, climate change. I have a farm is 1 meter from the sea level. Prediction is that with climate change in 50 years, by year 2050, the sea level will go up by 3/4 of a meter. Maybe my farm will be underwater, under brackish water already. So what happened then? So this resourceability, so that land will not become available. So I have to somehow change that to different type of operation. Maybe I talk about fishery, brackish water fishery. Maybe I talk about that, or abandon it, convert to tourism. There are many other things that can be done, but that is the resource availability that affecting the profession also. Agricultural labor, of course, you know lah, because agriculture engineering focuses or initially started with labor in US when there were labor shortage, greatly reducing. Now they're having less than 5% of the population is providing food for the rest of the country. America is a very big country, you know, population wise, biggest I think, not next to China, before China, after China, sorry. So, and in our case, we have labor population. Now the average age of farmers maybe not reaching 60 already. I don't have the latest figure of that. 10 years ago or 15 years ago was about 50. So now might be 60, 65. I wouldn't be surprised even 70. And talk about rural urban migration. Anak-anak petani sekarang tak mau jadi petani, so they go to town and work in brighter lights, in more office in the aircon place, things like that, you know. So that sort of rural migration and competition from other industries also for labor. They're asking for the same use. They want the same labor that we are in competition. And then foreign labor and workers for agriculture, there are a lot of limitation on this one. So also these are factors about change in resource ability. Agriculture water, of course, you know, like competition on water, on same water from source, from the dam, but now the dam also is to be used for domestic as well as factories for competition. So what do we do with that? So that is the changes, the challenge that we have to come in. Capital. Well, industry also need money, same form of money. So money can be in an issue. And also, of course, the other thing is the rising cost of imported inputs, fertilizer, chemicals, and things like that. So there's another issue of cost change that we have to think about and monitor and strategize. Energy, fuel energy, fossil fuel, sorry. There's a lot of limitation on that one. Are we prepared for that? So we must monitor the situation and things like that and think of the future, how to do it. And then imported produce, I just said just now, the prices include machinery, by the way. The price of machinery, which is an important input in agriculture engineering service to the farmers. This is another one that is very important that most people forget. The new product demands. Possibility they're asking now for fiber crops, because it's a new market that we have not new to us, but it's already in the thing. There are fiber crops that can be used for building construction, for industrial construction, for uses and things like that. For other things, for energy also. There of course our traditional oil and fat crops, palm oil, coconut, energy crop. We have not got any energy crop at the moment, but other countries are using energy crop, sugarcane, tapioca, some other seed plants, landscape building spaces, the demand for that. Right? We have a lot of building now. Ecotourism, of course, you know lah. Environmental, recreational, that's explained just now, biodiversity. And then new product categories, insects. Insect is a good generator of protein. So it can be used for food or for animal feed. Or even other things too. The fish, right? Simple plants, simple animals, reptiles. Reptiles, of course, we never think about producing snakes and crocodiles in Malaysia. But then, if we have to, isn't it? We may have to think about that, what we like and what we don't like. Microbes is already being used, right? So the engineering for that also. So the change in agriculture industry on this. Increasing demand. We are now asking users, consumers are asking for good quality, for fresh quality, for safe and affordable food, more raw materials for industries, and then medicinal uses, drugs, pharmaceutical, and more local source food, we don't fresh from overseas. And then consumer preference, sometimes there's also change because of people wanting healthful and wholesome food. It's a new niche market. which come with age of the population. Reducing demand. This is an area that can happen in the past, has happened in the past. It can happen in the future, right? For example, rubber, the demand was reduced, right? Cassava, ubi kayu, used to be a big thing issue. Now, can't even find the plant. We only have a few for edible cassava plants, not for processing. Tobacco, only gone out of the picture. Cocoa, still there. Pineapple, still there, but reducing. Still there because of the soil stability. And then coffee. In the old time, coffee was one of the advocated place, but then we cannot compete with it, with the Brazil and things like that, with more bigger advantage. They have the better advantage than us. And then we have another change of the industry that we often neglect is the on regulation. There are many types of regulation, and that can affect the agriculture engineering profession. Industry-related regulation on land use ownership and land use ownership itself, the regulation for this. Pesticide use regulation, pollution control, environmental impact, phytosanitary. When you import things, agricultural or plant living things from overseas, you have to satisfy the regulation on this one. GMO material, where you increasingly more using GMO material, people are concerned. So they have regulation on this one. GMO material, by the way, is in the country. You don't know or no, it's up to you to find out. I won't go into that later now. Biodiversity, regulation for biodiversity, protection mainly. You cannot simply export things, certain things. Or building structure, there's also regulation for that on agricultural land. And price control, this is also another regulation. Financing, another regulation, for industry. Then there are also general regulation for all industries that are relevant. They are relevant to agriculture activities, for manufacturing facilities, right? Occupational health, OSHA, occupational health and safety, hazardous chemical, road and air transport, regulations, money, the impact on agriculture industry, import export of goods and foreign parts, our tractor or machinery parts have to be imported from overseas, mostly. Foreign labor, and then of dangerous material, explosive, firearms. It's all regulated. Use of natural resources, water system. We cannot simply tap water from the ground for irrigation. For domestic, so cannot. Even for mineral water, they are also regulated. For bottled water consumption. And then we can't simply go on the hill and slopes to put our plants or raise animal. The regulation for that one. And the use of fertilizer, natural fertilizer. The natural fertilizer are mainly the natural products like lime, a few other things I forgot right now. And I have to put etc. here because there are many more that cannot fill into the slides. And of course, there are also the agriculture industry certification, like Halal said, My Organic and GAP. It's all that we have to monitor and know the trend and then develop strategies for that. Commodity-based regulation also have. We have oil palm. This one is paddy beras, animal livestock, importation, communities, and PB is what? I can't remember. MRB is the rubber board. This is another board. Forget that. Then regulation of professional practice in agriculture sector. This is specifically for agriculture. At the moment, we don't know. There is none. As far as I know, this is my personal information, knowledge information. I may be wrong, but please correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me what are the regulations. But in the future, we don't know. Maybe there'll be a strong one like in Philippines and US, right? Where stipulate that you cannot do anything agricultural engineering in nature unless you are an agriculture engineer. They have that, but we don't have here. Okay. Then public sector, of course, there are also changes in public sector policy and initiatives like food security issue, rural economic development. We're talking about the corridor economic development now. We used to have about IADPs, the integrated area agriculture area development projects, and now management, land development scheme, FELDA, FELCRA, all those things sort of thing. These are the policies, what are the trend now and what is in the future. We don't know what. And rural industrialization, now talking about, instead of to avoid people from rural area going off into the town and creating problem in the town and creating problem in the rural area, why not have the industry go to to the rural area? So yeah, rural industrialization, this job creation and whatnot lah. So these are all policies that involves affecting the engineering technology. Now, in terms of technology changes, we have 4 categories that I can think of. We have the in supportive technologies, engineering. Then we have the climate change and sustainability related technologies that are coming out or also need to be monitored. Resource use optimization and so farming concept. I'll go quickly about this. This one I think most familiar, engineers are now most familiar, or even students also you're familiar because you are now being exposed to it in terms of IT, IoT, AI, robotics, remote sensing and control, and biosensing, also smart precision farming or things like that, and others. But I forgot to put extra there, more related things on this industry. And then climate change sustainability is another important area. Our palm oil industry being threatened because of the issue of sustainability, and how do we manage it and how do you overcome this issue obstacles? This is known in the industry because they already did the SWOT analysis and prepare whatever it is strategic options and remedial action and things like that. So now it's quite okay, but in terms of things, as a total technology related change is the renewable energy, issue of biofuel and solar energy for agriculture. Can it be used or not? These are the things that we can monitor, or they have been using also. Monitor. Environment, biofertilizer, biopesticide, waste reduction and use, zero burning, all the technology changes that are thing. And then similar to the sustainability issue is the carbon footprint issue. Also the new technologies that we're talking about zero tillage. Imagine growing crops or plants without tillage. Well, they come up with the technology for that. And then sustainable farming, another farming approach that is sustainable in nature. Not just organic, but also sustainable in other things too, beside fertilizer and other things. Then issue of biochar, because we sequester or hide the carbon into the ground so that it doesn't become climate change factor in the air through carbon dioxide release and whatnot. And then of course there is the issue of nature and organic farming. And then regenerative farming is all new concept and new things which are on the ground. Some of them quite old, some of them quite very new. And permaculture, technology for agriculture that have changing in respect to climate change and sustainability. And then there is also a resource use optimization technology, land issue. So we go, not enough land, so we go on vertical farming. We go not enough similar to on the land, so to make it easier, go hydroponic, aquaponic, fish farming, biodiversity, resource, how to floating farming. I won't explain all this, too much time consuming. And so on, water conservation and management. These are all the resource optimization technologies which are known. In the future, there'll be many more these technologies. We have to monitor, keep in track. And then farm management concept. Farming is a very laborious job, very time consuming. Why don't we contract it out? So there is contract farming, or source operation, as well as Market is uncertainty, so we do contract farming. We latch onto the manufacturer to contract farming for them. Industrial agriculture. This is mainly in the US. Europe is going off that one already. Local community farming and niche market farming. These are all concepts that are new in the sense, some of them, but old, in like industrial agriculture is very old. Also employed in Malaysia for certain crops, commodities. Excuse me. Now, the most important in my mind to talk about is the employment opportunities. The challenge number 5. This is what in most of the mind of most entrants to the practice, to the industry, and also as for those already graduated and now trying to make a living in the industry. One is the issue of recognition acceptance of BE graduate and AE in AE and ABE. No? And the other one, the issue is employment areas for engineers. Now, in terms of, I guess just summarize the whole thing, situation right now. This is my opinion or my deduction of observation. I may be wrong, I may be right, depending on how you want to perceive it. But my opinion, my observation is that in public sector, in terms of operation, like as public managers of public services, right? In engineering sector. It can be for training, could be missionary services, missionary supply, group management, and things like that. There's a good acceptance of AE and BE, BA. There's no question about that. But in the public sector, on the regulatory aspect, regulatory for, say, for environment, for other things, pesticide, whatever, I'm not sure. I think my view is that this to review and improve. And to be review and improve, not without the D, sorry, grammatical. To review it and then improve it. This is as far as the status right now, because not all knowledgeable or are aware of the AE contributions, potential, and also because there is no regulation put there. Awareness issues are no regulation requiring AE for agriculture engineering works and operation. So it comes to regulatory, so we must review this and then you can improve on it if you can. As a group, not privately, difficult, individual. Private sector, I think in my view, it is to be improved. This private sector engineering is a new concept. Because of the private sector, our project, Malaysia adopt free enterprise system. There's no central planning, things like that, as opposed to it's a free market enterprise, free enterprise free market. So there are certain way of doing things, right? So engineering, agriculture engineers is a minority, as I explain later. I'll have the figures for you. So you're fighting a tough time. You're having a tough time to get into private sector engineering aspect. Even though other people may say otherwise, but this is my view, and you can see why I say that later. This is why the main issue is awareness. Awareness. It needs to be enhanced. Right? It is one of the challenges. The next challenge is this awareness. Of course, mainly one of the main issue is the no regulation qualities. But is regulation needed? This is another issue. This is another things that need to be discussed and to be strategized for and things like that. So the easiest solution is regulation, but then regulation depends on enforcement. How is it going to be enforced? What to do? So regulation per se, you can say there's no regulation, but then accurate regulation is important. Meaning it's enforceable, is adhered to. That's why in maybe the UK and European practice of not having regulation, because everything is over there. The reliance on ethics and moral is very high. So people will stop on the road, on the crossing road, on the road cross, and allow the people on your right to move first before you come in there. But Malaysia is totally different. First come, first serve. Or siapa berani berjalan dulu lah. So that is the issue of the situation that differs between Europe and us. America is like Europe and UK, right? So issue of regulation is something else. Do we need it? If we need it, how do we formulate it and how do we enforce it? Yeah, we have many regulations, but then can they be all effective if there is no enforcement? No effective enforcement, things like that have to be discussed, have to be talked about. As far as in particular the aspect of agriculture engineering issue lah, yeah. So I think employment areas. The agriculture sector, the employment, agriculture engineering can be employed in any of these sectors. One group is called, I'll call it agriculture sector. This can be agricultural consultant practice. Then there is this is common lah kan, everybody knows that. Then whether the status of this practice is something else, I'm not discussing here. The related services, business, or the agriculture related business or business, for example, in academics and teaching and training. Training also, of course, we are about training the technician, training the technologists, training the engineer themselves. So the academics aspect. Yeah, and then you can also there can be in this category also include work contractors. Can be a contract harvester, mechanized harvesting. You can own a fleet of harvesters and employ people to run it all over, from all the way north in Alostar down to Mersing in Johor. These are work contractors. Or you can be, especially nowadays, nobody do transplanting anymore manually. But transplanting rice, I'm talking about rice transplanting is needed to control wheat problem in paddy fields. So what they do now, the technology is there. They use mechanized transplanting. The people are doing a contract mechanized transplanting for farmers. Farmers just pay a certain amount, whatever they charge you, and that is affordable or not. Then they supply everything from seed to the seedling and plant it to the ground. You see, then the farmers only check up pinggang at the batas and say, okay, everything done, I pay you, that sort of thing. So now the farmers actually very easy, because everything can be done. Harvesting also can be done by contractor, and have to transport it right to the mill, and your money straight into your account by bank transfer. You only check your bank account. So things like that, everything called that public transfer, and the scope of public work contractor is a lot. Can go using the smart farming. You can go into the other thing as well. Even marketing for certain crop. Okay, you can go marketing for like marketing house. You sell everything to this fellow. The fellow will market to all the supermarkets and things like that, under their own brand name. Public sector e-services and management. This one I have to mention earlier. There are many public sector of this that come under this one. E-supply services and management. This include the machinery, selling machinery, servicing machinery, things like that. These are all under the agriculture sector of employment areas that can be done. And specialist AE contractor services. What about using drones for aerial mapping of your plantation or your farm to get the land fertilities potentials, and then also the crop diseases and things like that. It's already being done now, but also there's a possibility for that sort of services, contract services, specialist AE contractor services. So these are all agriculture AE related. Yeah, that can you think of? I only mentioned a few. If you are seeking for the opportunity, you will see many more, which I cannot mention at the moment. Yeah, the area. Now, of course, there are also the non-engineering related agriculture business. You can be the lowest category. You can be a marketer. You buy from people, then take it somewhere and sell it off somewhere else. Marketing, but nothing to do with engineering. But then your creativity and your as an engineer, your creativity and your devices, skills, methods, and process will help you a lot in this sort of thing. Yeah. And then the non-agriculture sector. This one is everybody knows it. General engineering services as a contractor. A contractor or business, non-general engineering. Maintenance of farm roads, maintenance of farm drain, maintenance of lakes and garden, things like that. Maintenance of golf courses, maintenance of football field. All this come under this general engineering services or special engineering services for that area. It can be done if you are interested in that, and if you think there's a good opportunity for that. And lastly, non-agriculture is non-engineering and non-agriculture related businesses. With your creativity or agriculture engineering, creativity and thing, you can go do things that are something. The sky is the limit here. Yeah? The sky is really the limit. You can think of anything, study it properly, strategize it, and activate your response, your activity. Possibility. You can be in everything, anything, in any of the in hospitality, hotels, catering, things like that. In even in insurance, there are a lot of engineers involved in insurance that I know of. And when I ask them, you were last time one of them I asked, you were last time consultant engineer, now you are doing this. Which one do you find profitable? So definitely this one, insurance. Why? No problem of collection. Everybody pay upfront. Whereas engineering services, you have to beg and appeal to get your last 5%. If you are lucky, you can get your 5%. Yeah, things like that. And there is a control percentage of what you can charge people. So things like that. So it is but the scope for this one is a lot there. And one need not worry about that one, because as long as ada usaha, adalah bahagiannya lah for your usaha, for the reward. You usaha and reward come together. No usaha, you get nothing lah. Okay, now employment status BM. This one area engineering, this engineering based engineering BM. I studied the BM punya directory listing of registrants as late as I've been monitoring this, and this figure that I gave you is from January this year. The branch of engineering here, PE, these are summarized lah, I didn't get the table directly from BM website, but it's I summarized after going through their directory listing. PEPC, PE, graduate engineer, engineering technologies. For agriculture, those who are registered under agricultural engineering branch, PEPC 24, PE 11, graduate engineering 776. I put up 776 because I don't want to say 776. 776. In technologies, 5. Okay. This is under agriculture engineering branch. Yeah. In biologic and agricultural and biosystem, none. None because INL not listed as branch in IAM directory. Something to swallow for the academicians. I can explain it maybe, but maybe it's because the graduates have not yet come out to register as graduate even. I don't know. Or they're not interested in registering. I don't know whatever it is. Bioengineering, 7 graduates. What is bioengineering? I don't know. That one is only what appear to be agriculture related. Yeah. We have to study that, but know what is bioengineering from the register specification. Biological engineering, 0. Mechanical agricultural, 0. Biological and agricultural, not listed as a branch. Yeah. And food and process, 0. This food and process is the home of food technologies. Food engineering, sorry. Food engineers, last time it called food engineers, now called food and process and chemical engineering. Also 0. Nobody registered. Even as graduate. Water resource, there's 7. PEPC. Water engineering, S1. Sorry. The PEPC numbers, in effect, and effective on the ground, may be less than what is listed here, because I think some of them, or a majority of them, I'm not sure, are people like me. We are retired. We don't do real work, but we still maintain our registration. No, so maybe that. So the number, actual on the ground number, may be much less. Right. Same thing with PE, with PI. PEPC, the older generation are mainly the automatic grandfathers, apa nama ni, they call it grandfather clause or something like that. When they started PEPC, those who were in PE automatic become PEPC. Yeah, this is one of the thing lah. So this may be mainly like that. After certain date, you automatically goes into that before certain date. After certain date, then you have to apply for PE and all those things lah. Yes, But this is the figures that I can get. I gathered was in January this year. But I want to tell you something else. I want to show you something else. Up to 2023, which is this year, January, population of AE graduates in the country estimated to be 2,000. Estimated to be 2,000. These are all people who graduated as AE or ABE, whatever it is. Because there is no real life statistics that we can count. I can count on public domain. So yeah, say about, I just calculated what year started the graduation, and then annual crop of how many people. So total about 2,000. It may be less slightly, it may be more slightly, I don't know. But it's very easy. The margin of error is plus or minus, I'm not sure. 100 maybe, I don't know. Okay, but the significance of that is that out of 2,000 who are registered, only about, in all this discipline, only about 700, 800 lah, round figure, yeah. So that comes to about only about 40% of the total population of 2,000 are registered. So the other 60%, where are they working? What are they working as? A big question, which I hope the academicians, or I call them the manufacturers of AE graduates, can answer themselves and tell us if you feel that we should be known to us. Right? But then I listed just now all the possibilities of employment areas, right? So the 60% must be there. That means they are not in professional practice, like consultancy lah. So these two are consultancy aspect, but some of them are not. You can be PE in government department, so or PPC in government department also. So exactly how many percent is non-registered? Where are they? Is something that it's a big question that we'd like to answer someday, somehow. By comparison, we want to check legislation. BE registered population, PEPC, we have 9,000. Round figure, 9,000, yeah. PE, we have about 6,000, about 6%. Right? Graduate, about 173, round up, 3,000. Or 172, 900, but I don't count that last bit, 173,000. Compared to ours, 700,000. And then round up 800,000. Okay. So we are very small minority in the whole engineering profession. But we don't know how many engineering tech is 12,000. We only register under AE, only 5 out of 12,000 or 13,000. 5 only in AE registered. Yeah. But this doesn't give the non-registered people, those who are graduate or who come out with the qualification but never register. This I don't have the data. This data only for those who are registered. Yeah, population. Another figure, another issue that you can think of about. You can mull on about while you're having coffee or beer, whatever it is that you drink often. Right? That is the situation right now as far as employment areas and legislation of professional issue. Okay. Enhancing awareness. This is the greatest challenge I consider as the greatest challenge. How to effectively undertake it is the issue. It can be at individual level or group level. What group? What group? There is no group unless there are associations, there are things like that, but association is one thing lah. They never work. Sorry, I have to say, but effectively, their purpose is something else, but not to this level of problem that we have now. Unless we have to be something like the American did during the Iraq War, coalition of the willing. Yeah. That will be the group that we think about, but that group doesn't exist. So I leave it with you with that. But one suggestion that I can make to the whole engineering fraternity is that manufacturers, meaning universities that produce agricultural engineering, I don't mind, I call them manufacturers for its simplicity. Yeah? Manufacturers and stakeholder groups. Stakeholder groups are those who are involved in different type of employment, right? Need to come together. Somehow, somewhere, sometime. And try to resolve this issue, challenge. First issue, one problem, awareness. How to make sure the world knows who you are, where you are, what can you do, what you cannot do. How can you serve you? Just that. Not about changes that can facilitate in the engineering profession. Not about that. First thing is awareness. Then only when you are everybody aware, then you have the critical mass for any change that you want into the profession. So, Mr. Chairman, I think I have only for last 5 minutes. I'd like to recap on this one that I told you all about what I intend to do with the talk scope. All right, it's all here. I've done. I think I've done completely. Then so as the purpose of the talk is to improve awareness. I hope the audience have improved their awareness on the realities and issues on agriculture engineering profession. I hope lah. Because there's no way of knowing whether he does or not, right? So I only hope that I hope that I achieved this purpose in this talk. Okay, before I end the talk, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to put a disclaimer that most of the information presented was sourced from various internet sites. Too many of them from speaker to acknowledge individually. I regret that, and I'm sorry for that. But if there is thing that I'm saying things that are not right, I hope those people who source it can tell me, and then I can make correction to what I put out personally. The speaker would like also to thank this internet community for their willingness to share. Not everybody willing to share, but I'm willing those who have shared for the others. I'm very appreciative of that. It's amazing. The world is really on sharing business. And I really appreciate that part. Those who have shared. And also to say that all opinion expressed are speaker's own, and they do not represent that of the talk organizer, nor any organization that he was associated with in the past or the present. Yeah. With that, I'll say thank you for your kind attention. And I'm not sure whether we can handle any questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Tuan Speaker, so far tak ada question dalam chat box.
Ada orang dengar ke?
Okay. Tak pasti, dia tak ada question dalam chat box. So I leave it to the moderator to take over now. Tuan moderator, please.
Okay, thank you, Rose. Any question from the floor? I think you can't speak because you have been muted. Can you have a quick type in the chat in the chat
No,
box.
they can, if they want to ask question, they can unmute themselves and ask question.
I
Oh,
see 3 chats there, Chairman.
Tak ada apa, dia pasal ni je.
Hello, good morning.
good morning, doctor. Yeah, please.
Assalamualaikum. Yes, I'm Nurul Huda. I'm an academic from UPM. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, please carry on.
Yes. Okay. First of all, thank you, IM, and thank you, Ayub, for your sharing this morning. I really appreciate this. Well, I graduated as agriculture and biological engineer, so I understand the challenges, you know. So when you talk about identification, how do you identify yourself, and how others would like to perceive us. So it's sometimes very challenging to align that expectation from me as how I want to identify myself and from others. Okay, so and now it leaves for the graduates to, you know, when they are in the university, of course the lecturers, they are trying to instill all these skills, knowledge, and also the confidence. Okay, so you are agricultural engineer, for example, but then when they graduate, it's really depends on them on how they want to identify themselves and to also prove. So this is about also about this. You mentioned just now about this quality that we must have in order for us to prove ourselves. So in the academic, so now it's good that we can revise the curriculum, because as how we want to identify ourselves, so the skills, the training must be aligned. So if we feel like if the definition is not clear, and then the teaching and learning and the training process will not be clear as well. So I think that's the challenge. But I look forward on how we can improve on this, because as we evolve, so the ecosystem evolve. So how can we in the academic also evolve for the improvement? And maybe one more thing that is challenging is to get those students who are interested, good students who are interested. So if we can have good students who wants to join this program in the university, then it will be easier for the lecturers, for the academics to train them. But if we cannot get good students, then it will be more challenging. So yeah, I really hope that we I mean, from the department, we can, I'm not speaking on behalf of my department, yes, I know, but I think many of my colleagues agree with my opinion, and I think that's all. Thank you so much.
Engineer Ayub?
Oh, wow. I'm not sure how to respond. I think one of way to, you say how to do it, kan? As to how us to do it. I think this slide, I think, will respond to your, can answer to my response to you, is that we have to get together. The whole stakeholder group and manufacturer, I mean, you are the one of the manufacturers, must sit together. How to do this is something that we all have to devise our means. We have to create as I said earlier, how the American did the Iraq War, coalition of the willing. But somebody has to start to find out who are willing. Okay, I expect that the academician should be the initiator for that, to find out who are willing, get together, get a facilitator within the group, and agree on an agenda, and then we can have a small discussion group one by one issues that need to be done, and things like that lah. But it has to be off departmental platform, because departmental normally follow certain things, certain procedure and protocol, whatever it is. Same thing with association. They have their own protocol to follow this. So this has to be an independent group of the willing collection of willing, those who are willing to do it. Voluntary totally and independent totally. That group. Who to initiate it? Man, well, maybe you like to volunteer. Just say that. You can always, those who are interested, send email to you or something like that, you know. And then you compile all these people, then you say, okay, let's have a discussion. Virtual, because agriculture engineers are distributed all over the place. Don't say go to UPM or go to Kanga or go to PJ even. We have to be virtual platform. And now virtual platform is not very difficult to access. We have private Zoom, we have Meet, you know, we even have Skype. So we can do all this thing together. The only thing is somebody must initiate the formation of the stakeholder groups. I mean, of the this willing of coalition of the willing punya group. That is the main thing. Then we can discuss issue. You talk about the student, quality of the student coming in. I realize that. I know that. Somebody mentioned that earlier also to me personally lah. See, how can we produce something good from something bad? That's true. Yeah. If we have the raw material that is bad, then how can you produce something that is good? Well, off the cuff remark, I would say your intake requirement must be more stringent. But of course, you have problem with this one because there are issues of politics, issue of political, social, and things like that. Banyak issue. I understand that, and that you may not be able to do everything. But then you can say for AE, it has to be like this. For other things, yes, can be other things. No, as well like that. So it must be like what? It's not a question of merit. It's a question of ability. Now, some people say, oh, merit, but then you can say, oh, if you are a rural area, how can you get question? How can you meet the requirement? Okay, you put that into the criteria punya formulation of how to do it, right? What's good for that. On the other hand, we may talk about, okay, you have a bad raw material. Why not improve the raw material first before entering your processing plant? You know, you can have remedial action plan. You go there first, you get this level, you can go in. Something like that. There's all possibilities that can be thought of lah. But we can always think, we can always say, but action become NATO lah. No action, talk only. Yeah. This is very common Malaysian punya philosophy in life. NATO, talk only. Yeah. But to make it real, somebody must form the coalition of the willing first. It takes only 3 people. Maximum 7. It has to be odd number because otherwise difficulty. Nobody to arbitrate because of argument different. So odd number 3, 5, 7, 9. Maximum pada saya lah. To start with, maximum 3. Maybe 5 later on, maybe 7 later on, maybe 9 later on. But to have first start of this thing, the platform, you don't need any association, you don't need any departmental punya platform. It is an individual platform. Yeah, this is only a suggestion from me. Meaning that it is possible to do that, and it's possible to overcome any problem. That's the second thing that I want to respond on. Nothing is impossible. We do the best we can and surrender the rest to Allah. That's my common quotation to people. The best we can. So the best we can right now is we can do form a coalition of the willing, formulate strategies, and respond action. Something like that lah. Maybe one of them is to increase the coalition group size. Maybe something else. But there are a lot of things that can be included in this, and these are all at personal level. Now, if you have problem about working off hours, after office we couldn't work, on this issue, then you have a problem. You cannot be in the group. Because this is, you have to take off personal time. Really, you have to take personal time off. You cannot be, sampingan where it's okay, I work like this, but then I can take off something like this. But because not everybody can do that. This has to be off normal office commitment, personal level. Call it amal jariah, you like. Call it social, plowback. You have to plow back whatever you have been given to you, plow back into the community, right? Okay, that is, put it like that. Some people, I have heard personally, people say, "Oh, tak ada masalah." I would say, after 5, I don't do anything related to profession or related to work. Then nothing can get moved. Okay. These are just only my reaction to you, lah. Not to say personally. I'm not sure whether you are the same. No, that one is no. This one you are Nur Huda.
Yes,
They-
Nurul Huda.
The other
Thank
one
you,
is
I
Nur
are you.
Sheila. The other
Yeah,
one is
thank you
Nur
so much.
Syahid. Okay.
Engineer Yop, there's one more question in the
Oh,
chat.
ada lagi.
In the chat box.
Okay.
The question, I think you can read from the chat box.
Let me see whether I can read. Which one?
It's regarding the ESG, environmental sustainability.
I can't read. My computer is set to very small font, so can you read for me, please?
Okay, the question is like this: the current market trend is toward ESG. How does agriculture engineer can contribute towards this new initiative?
Initiative for? Just now,
ESG by engineer Cheng Sing Kong.
environment what? EFT is environment what?
I understand it's environment sustainability. G is for what? Maybe Engineer Cheng? Can you unmute yourself and
ESG is environmental sustainable goals.
yeah, Engineer Ayub?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's I'm Chen here. The ESG is environment, social, and governance. So it covers all angles.
ESG.
Yes, E for environment, S for social, and G for governance.
Governance.
Yes.
Oh, that's a very tough question, lah. I maybe need 1 hour to answer that. But basically, the agriculture engineer can contribute it towards that. How? First thing is to understand what is it, the scope of that thing. Because not everybody understand. Number 2, how can agriculture engineer contribute to that? Right? We know what our capabilities, right? What our capabilities can do from all the subject, the subject matter, as well as the field of sub-specialization, right? Can contribute to it. In terms of governance, there is a big issue. But first we have to be on the technical matter first. Technical matter, social and governance can come a bit later. But first, how can we contribute? Because as an engineer, you are a technical man, right? So we can contribute in any way in the technical matter that is possible in the scope of what I described earlier. As far as social, you have to assist somebody else, another specialist group area to do it. Governance also the same. Well, governance is a big issue. It's a big issue. It's management, legal, and also including social, political. Banyak masalah yang boleh masuk dalam tu lah kan. So engineer punya tak boleh masuk banyak sangat dalam tu, dalam the social and engineering aspect, unless you are in that group specialization. for that particular area. But on the technical matter, I think we can do a lot from the environment aspect, nothing much. The distinction between environmental engineering and agriculture engineering is very narrow. Not very narrow. The difference is very narrow, meaning that, there's no difference in terms of scope of abilities. Practically, there's not much, because your grounding is about the same. You're dealing with the same thing. So the technical matter was, it can be easily handled. I don't think we cannot handle. But to understand the social and the governance part, I think the engineers' knowledge and networking, the ability, has to come in play. That is a soft skill that not everybody has, but everybody must strive to have. What soft skill? Okay. And also the networking, not only within engineering fraternity, but also outside engineering fraternity, the networking part of it. I don't think I can really elaborate much on that, because it's not my bidang lah kan, not my scope of area. But that's how my answer to that is that lah. We can do mainly on the technical aspect, but on the social and governance one, and think we have to network with other people. Yeah, I hope I answer your question lah.
Okay. Any feedback from Mr. Cheng?
That's great. Thank you for the response. The ESG actually also covers individual companies actually. So
Yeah,
this
okay,
is the
okay.
new trend that our companies are doing. Thank you.
Any other question?
Hello.
Yes, please.
I'm Solihin Najmi from. I'm also an agriculture engineering graduate. I just graduated about a year ago. Last year, 2022. So basically, my concern is about specification, or maybe actually we are, as a graduate, we are having quite a tough challenge to find a job that suits our studies, or our we are looking for a job that suits our study. So for my concern, I want to ask, is there any initiative or any kind of courses or certificates that offered by IEM or any engineering organization from agriculture engineer for giving opportunities to graduates to have some kinds of courses and specific or certificates, for example, for soil and water or for organization, so that the employees can be more impressed with the graduate. Because for my take, I think the degree only for people that just graduated, employer are just looking at the title of the degree, for example, agriculture engineer, so they don't have any understanding on what the aid is doing and how the degree can contribute to the company, unless they have some specification on courses or some small the specification courses. For example, like drawing, they have certificates on mapping, certificates on agriculture drawing, and so on. So my question is, and my concern is, is there any kind of courses that offered by any organization from AE? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I think maybe you're better positioned to answer that.
All right, Nasmi, I can answer your question anytime. Nasmi, my subordinate. First thing, as I said earlier, to Nasmi and also others, first thing is to register with the Board of Engineers Malaysia, become the graduate engineers. Subsequently, join IEM, and then attend relevant activities provided by IEM, and at the end, become the PE. That is the greatest certification that you can obtain as an agriculture engineer. Of course, there are other certifications. Depend on what you are doing lah. I think that's all. Thanks.
Okay, can I add on a little bit on that
Yeah,
one?
sure.
Thank you. What's the name? I don't know. Solihin, yeah.
Nasmi.
Solihin.
Solihin Nasmi. Yeah.
Thank you for your feedback. To me personally, it's a good feedback because it illustrates exactly what I was trying to say about opportunity for graduates to work in the industry, the difficulty that you have. Now we have a living example, right? Thank you for that. As to answer your question, I think I would suggest the very first thing, just do any job to get some way of paying your living lah. Just that. Got any job as long as legal and what kata apa? Patuh syariah. As long as comply these two requirements, get any job that within your means and within your capacity. Right? As an engineer, you have added advantage because you can apply your engineering skill and knowledge to this new job. To this job that you're talking about. Try to get something that match lah. Because later on, maybe you can improve on that as you go along. After that, you think about other possibilities, right? This is where your networking will have to come in. You must network. Networking, I'm not sure whether the university teach you what networking. Many types of networking. There's business networking, and there is also the professional networking. Yeah, these two are separate, can be the same. But you can do what you can do is to encourage yourself to meet people. Now that you got a job, any job, you have some money, you can mobility, you can move. Encourage to meet people of a similar kind or of a target group kind. Now, if you say, I want to do business in this type of thing, try to meet those people. You can learn from them the situation and opening and opportunities. That's the main thing, right? So the first thing is get any job. Don't be fussy about what job. Just as long as you get a job, get payment, get a wage. For the moment, you become a wage earner lah, something like that. And then you build your networking, improve on your job, improve on your possibilities, and further on. Right now, as far as courses are concerned, you see, most employers doesn't look at paper qualification. Most lah, especially in the private sector lah. Most employer doesn't look at the paper qualification. Okay, you got this one, right? But I want to see what can you do. That's where you have to demonstrate that what you can do, what your ability to do things. If you start by networking, and that, then he can show you through networking, friend over friend, contact over contact. You can your introduction, what you can do, what you cannot do, of course. What you can do is already you build up your reputation way before you. So networking helps in reputation. You must build your reputation. That's the most important thing. You must build your reputation. Because I always told people when I was working that your reputation precedes you. Before you reach point A, or maybe before reach point B, at point A, your reputation already reached point B. If your reputation is not so attractive to the employer, you just say, "Oh, thank you, I'll consider it." Don't call me, I'll call you. Typical, biasalah. But if your reputation is good through your networking, you say, "Oh, you are the person. Okay, come. How much? What pay do you want? I have this problem. Can you help me solve the problem?" See, that's how important things are. Courses, yes, you can attend as many courses as you like, but I would suggest you go into the entrepreneurship development courses that are offered in many places, right? Some of them are from even the free for things like that, online free. There are a few organizations that provide that nowadays because of the COVID thing. This entrepreneurship is suddenly become very important, and a lot of people are contributing. Some free, some pay, some, but no certificate maybe, or attendance certificate maybe. Doesn't matter. The main thing is you get some skills and knowledge about that. And then implement it like that. But the first thing is to get some form of job first. Doesn't matter. maybe riding Grab or Panda or whatever it is. That's the easiest job to do now, right? Or maybe paper delivery or even just anything. Pasar malam punya trading, doesn't matter. You can still get future wise even if you hold this even if you have this sort of job, doesn't matter. Just get a job first, any job that you can be happy with, then progress from there. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, continue on until you reach where you want to be. Most important is to start first, most important is to know where you want to be. And then you start with the first step, second step, third step, until you reach the end there. As a lot of people self-development philosophy say, you start with the mind, with the end in view. Where you want to end, to be as what? You start with that first, from the beginning. Right now, you just graduated, okay. Do you know where you want to end up with? That is, you have to consider, only you can answer that. You have to be there. And then you plan your steps. You plan your step from there, including maybe getting the first job, any job, right? I don't know where your location is, rural or not, and things like that, but there are many opportunities everywhere. But consider area of entrepreneurship for that purpose, yeah, because the professional services of engineering is very limited in scope at the moment. It might, with time or with changes in circumstances, it may improve. At the moment, it's very limited. I don't want to disappoint you by giving example of what people told me. So you just, but the point that is very limited. So you just get any job first. Don't worry about it. Even giving tutorial, giving tutorial from your house or whatever it is, or going to somebody's house or going to anywhere in subject that you like, that you are capable of doing. At SPM level, at diploma level, degree level, if you like, things like that. Or even in soft skills, if you are a good speaker, why not go give a course on good public speaking? Or if you are a good writer, go in course in writing. There are many of these things offered either online or face to face, and there are many organizations that will employ you for that. So this is my advice lah. To you, ask me how to do it on the courses, but beyond the course, think of other things too first, and don't go for IEM courses only. I'm not sure what IEM courses offer you. Besides what Engineer Yong has said, there are other courses mainly for engineers and things like that for you to get your PE and whatnot lah. To some other course, but your stage is you can't even get a job, the first job. Not talking about getting a PE, just to get your practical experience in the same agriculture engineering also susah. Yeah, maybe not. I'm not sure. I'm not from the industry at the moment, so you can tell, or Engineer Yong is, so he can tell you how difficult it is to get the job for that sort of thing. But at the moment, work on your first job. But the first thing important, know where you want to end is. Then take the first step, second step, and so on. Planning. That's how I think I would like advise people. If you ask me lah, that's all it is lah. Okay, Chairman.
Okay, Chairman tak ada dalam lagi sebab rumah dia power cut off.
Oh ya dia. So
Okay,
time frame pun sudah habis.
yeah, we already reached more than time.
Yeah,
So ada satu question lagi ni. Ada satu.
Apa tu?
Actually ada dua.
Oh, ya.
Ada dua. I rasa yang ni kita ada panjang pula, lengthy pula tu. Nanti kita minta Engineer Ayub to answer that. Then I will email to the participant. Is that okay?
Yeah. If you can pass me the question by email.
Yeah, I will pass you the.
I'll respond in writing lah.
Okay. So that's about it. So we can end the session now.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you everybody for attending, and hope to see you soon sometime in some other forum or some other venue. Inshallah.
Okay. Thank you. Bye all.
Bye all.